guys? Mrs. Denton here, saying hi to all my concert band friends. Welcome to another lesson of awesomeness. I figured today we'll do our scales as a warm-up, and then we'll run through as many of our songs as we can. We'll do Avengers, Star Spangled Banner, and Big Time Operator. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do our concert B-flat scale in whole notes. And 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do that again in quarter notes. And 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. And eighth notes. And 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do our concert E-flat scale. So all of my flutes and basses and trombones and mallets, you're going to start on your E-flat. Trumpets and clarinets, you are starting on an F, and my altos are starting on a C. In whole notes. And 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do that same scale in quarter notes. And 1, 2, ready, go. And eighth notes. And 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. Good job. All right. Now that we've warmed up, let's go ahead and go through Avengers. So in the past few lessons, what we've done is we've broken it down by section and played it. So today I would like to just run it as if we were practicing for a concert. But first, let's kind of go through our roadmap. So basses, remember your rhythm in the beginning is 1E and a 3, 4E and a 1E and a 3, 4E and a 1E and a 3, 4E and a 1E and a 3, 4. And then flutes and clarinets, that's when you would come in and measure 4 with your whole notes. Trumpet 1, you also come in with the same rhythm as the basses at that point. Drums, you're still doing downbeat hits for each measure, so on 1, but do keep in mind that it does change after 3 measures, so make sure that you're counting your part and everything. Flutes and clarinets at 9, you have those awesome 16th notes that we just love to play. one E and a 2, or 3 E and a 4, or 2 E and a 3, 4 E and a 1. And that is depending on which part you play. When we play this all straight down, I will play both of the 16th notes both parts, so it'll be a constant 16th note pattern. Altos, you come in at 9 with your melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget your repeats, guys. From 9 to 12, those are your repeats. 13 is when we move on, and 13 is also when the drums come in with their cool 16th note pattern. So if you are lost in our group setting, I would write drums at 13 to help remind you, oh, hey, I kind of fell behind, but I hear the drums playing, which means we're at 13. So that's a good way to do that. Trumpets, you also come in with the melody at 13. Same with the altos. The altos are going to keep on playing, and trumpets are going to join them. And then flutes and clarinets, you're still playing your 16th notes all the way to 21. Remember, 21 is when it changes to a softer setting. We have whole notes and half notes. Altos, you do have the melody again. Remember, you come in on beat 2 starting in 21. I apologize for that yawn. Sorry. And then basses and trombones, you have whole notes that come in measure 22. Make sure that you come in on the downbeat. Super important. And then my flutes and clarinets, you are holding out your whole notes. They do change depending on your part, but then keep in mind that you also have half notes 4 measures in. So that's cool. And then trumpets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures full of rest. And then that 6th measure, you have 2 beats of rest, and you come in with 3, 1, 2, so 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, bottom. And that should all bring us to 29. 29 is where clarinets get to come in with 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and don't forget those are staccato, short and detached, and they have to be articulated with your tongue. Some of us may be still trying to use our air to tongue. Don't do it. You will breathe too fast and get very lightheaded, and it's not the proper way to do it. So make sure that you're using ta, and in this case tut, because it is staccato. Altos, again, you have the melody starting in measure 30. You do come in on beat 2, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest for 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, and you come in with your half notes. And then after your half notes in measure 37, you have 1 and a 3. You have those 2 16th notes that are not 8th notes. So remember, they happen a little bit quicker. 1 and a 3, and I like it. It's a pretty cool part. Trumpets, you then have the melody at 34 with coming on beat 2 as well. 1, 2, and 1, 2, or sorry, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my trombone basses, you have whole notes with changing half notes. So kind of like the section at 21, except you have more to play. And trombones, you also have the 1 and a 3 with the altos. When we get to 1 before 39, everybody has 8th notes on beat 1 and beat 3. So you're thinking 1 and 2, 3 and rest. 39, that's your 39. And at 39 is when the clarinet 1, flute, and altos, you all have the melody. And then everyone else either has 8th notes that we talked about earlier, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or you have whole notes. And then, so altos, flute, clarinet, 1, melody. And then trumpets, you have the option to play those 8th notes as well. when they're tiny like that. Those are called cues. Normally you would play if a certain section did not have that part, or you didn't have that section in the band, but I always recommend playing it. So again, remember, think tut, short, and detached. And then that brings us to 47. 47 is kind of just a continuation of the 39 section, except louder. Think of it as the grand finale. Grand finale. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the end. Flutes and clarinets. You knew it was coming. You have 1 and 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. I got it. 1, 2, 3, and a 4 E and a 1. So it looks like a whole lot of 16th notes. It's really not. Because think about it. You actually played more 16th notes in the beginning of the song than right here. So you just got to break it down. It lays very easy in the fingers. Flutes, you have G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. And then clarinets, you have A, B, B natural. No, sorry. A, B natural, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And then everyone else, you either have eighth notes or half notes. Or 50 to the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the end. You either have half notes, whole notes, or no, half notes or eighth notes. But everybody, just like the measure before 39, has eighth notes on beat 1 and beat 3. 4 before the end. Everyone else also has whole notes. 3 and 2 from the end. Everyone ends on beat 1 of that last measure. And then, yeah, cool. So that's kind of a rundown. Our roadmap on this Avengers adventure. Say that like 10 times. Avengers adventure. So let's go ahead and play. I have my metronome set to 80. I will go ahead and play the first clarinet part, but I will also play the bass part in the beginning for the first 4 measures. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. I apologize. I kind of lost my air there. Start at 13. 1, 2, ready, go. One, 2, 29. job! That was all of Avengers. I bet it sounded awesome. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, fantastic. So let's go ahead and look at Star Spangled Banner. We'll kind of do what we did with Avengers and kind of go over the roadmap, and then we'll play. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. Excuse me. Basses, let's talk about your part first. Don't forget that you have high B flats on your G string 3rd fret, and you're using your 3rd finger for that. You also have F sharps. If you're having trouble finding F sharp, just locate your F on your D string 3rd fret and then move up 1 fret closer to you, and that is your F sharp. Also, don't forget that in 17, when you have your ba 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 ba, that be careful that it is 8th notes and not dotted 8/16. Bum ba dum bum. We don't want to play that rhythm. That's the rhythm in the beginning, not at 17. Clarinets and trumpets, don't forget that you have F sharps in your first few bars, actually. So you have that. Trumpets also at 17 with the basses. Same thing, don't do the dotted 8/16 pattern. We are doing 8th notes, and it's also quieter. So if you're used to playing that loud, I'd go ahead and take my band pencil and write in piano. We also have altos and clarinets. When you have the melody at 17, do remember that those are 8th note patterns and not dotted 8/16. Altos, also don't forget your F sharp in your key signature, and you have low notes that aren't the melody, it's harmony, but it's super important. And for those low G's and low D's, I recommend relaxing, especially like inside your throat, kind of like you're singing, to get those low notes to come out. And if you need to take a second, pause the video and maybe work on getting those notes to come out, that's totally cool too. That's what I would do. And then don't forget, if you are playing a Divisi part, if you're having trouble reading the Divisi part, I would recommend writing a few notes above it to help you remember which line you're playing. So with that, let's go ahead. Oh, let's also talk about the fermatas at the end. I am not going, for the sake of keeping us all together and with the metronome, we're not going to do the fermata 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the end, or the first fermata that you see. We are going to do the last fermata, and then I'll just kind of cut off and we'll do that. Alright, so here is the Star Spangled Banner. I will be playing the first clarinet part. You know what? I want to take it a little bit slower. Alright, so here is Star Spangled Banner at 75 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sorry, I started playing one of the Divisi parts and played the other. So let's start pickups to 17. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. right. Fantastic, guys. Let's go ahead and go to our big time operator. Alright. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and talk about big time operator. Big time operator starts with drums. You're doing your triplet pattern. 1A, 2A, 2A, 3A, 4. Remember, if you start the accent, if you're doing the accents properly on beat 1, 2, 3, and 4, you start in your right hand. You should end in your left. So 1A, 2A, 3A, 4. And if you need to practice it, just like I did in my hands, very, very slow so you can count it out and think it through, that's a great way to do that. Alright, everyone else, other than basses, you have rhythms of 1 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1, and unless you are an alto, and then altos and trombones, you have 1 and 1 and 1, and that is your rhythm in the beginning. And basses, you also have that really cool walking bass line we've talked about. So let's go ahead and talk about at 10, it then switches over to trombones. You have the melody at 10, from 10 to 18. You have 1 and 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and bum. Everyone has a half note on beat 2, one before 18, and that's just a nice little introduction into that 18 section. You also have at 18, my people who have the melody is trombones again. You just continue that. Everyone else, instead of resting like you have been, you play on 1, or no, you play on 2, 3 and. So 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and. Yeah. And then it kind of repeats at 26. Oh, no. Sorry. Let me take that back. That is your part from 18 to 26. At 26, however, my flutes, clarinets, and trumpets, you have the main melody of 1 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 1 up. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's your melody. And altos, we worked on this the last time we worked on Big Time Operator. You come in on beat 2, you hold out the dotted half note, remember, for 5 beats, and you cut off on the downbeat of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, ba-dum, 1, ba. Ba-dum, bum. And that's your part. And then at 34, again, trombones, you still have the melody. But now at 34, trumpets, you switch back to the part that you had at 18. And then 34 is when flutes and clarinets, you have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 4. Bum ba-dum 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 bum ba-dum 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 bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum. Yeah, so it kind of cool, just changes throughout. And then my basses, I'm sorry if you think your part is boring, but it's really not. It's really cool. Walking bass lines are awesome. And then my drums, you have your swing pattern 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Then we get to the shout section at 46, and that's when everybody pretty much plays on beat 1, the and of 3. So 1, 2, bum bum, 2, bum bum, bum bum. Yep. And then 4 from the end. Everyone has 1 and 4. Jazz hands. And then drums, while everyone's holding out that half note or whole note at the end, tied to another whole note, you have triplets. And there you go. All right, let's go ahead and play. So here is Big Time Operator. Let's see, is my metronome set correctly? It is not. I apologize. My phone has disconnected from the speaker. All right. So sorry about that. I just want to make sure we got a good tempo. Here is Big Time Operator. I have my metronome set at 95. We're good to go. All right, so let's play. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba da 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 da. 2, 3, 4. Ba da ba ba da ba 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 da ba ba da ba da 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 ba ba da ba ba da ba 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 da. Two, three, four. That was awesome. Good job. Big Time Operator. So today we have gone through all 3 of our songs. We went through Star Spangled Banner, Avengers, and Big Time Operator. So good job, guys. Keep on rocking. Keep on practicing. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. So until next time, practice.